Hey everyone, my name is Ellis Rold. I'm a reporter here at Channel 10. I am getting ready to sit down and interview the new head of the Richard L. Bean Juvenile Detention Facility, Mr. Brian Bivens. Now, if you've been following our coverage over the last few months, you know that earlier this spring, a whistleblower at the facility reported to state agencies issues that she saw with medication mismanagement, as well as issues that she had with the head of the facility, Mr. Richard Bean. Now that led to Mr. Bean firing her and then another employee. When Mayor Glenn Jacobs found out about that, he demanded that Mr. Richard Bean reinstate the two employees. Now Bean is going to retire August 1st, and the facility has been transferred to now be under the control of the Knox County Sheriff's Office. I sat down with Mr. Bivens, who is retired KCSO, to ask about the changes he wants to see and the impact he hopes to make. Can you just start off by talking a little bit about your background in law enforcement?
Okay. I started with after I graduated from the University of Tennessee in December of '93. I started in March '94 with the Sheriff's Office here for Knox County. I was there for 28 years. I retired in 2021 because of some family things that were going on. That situation's kind of resolved itself. So I was doing audits and inspections for various different groups, American Corrections Association. I'm a certified Department of Justice pre-auditor as well. So I've probably completed about 130 audits in about 25 different states. So I've got a pretty good client list, so to speak. So getting to go to these places, audits and inspections, you learn a lot. I always tell folks when I come into their facility that I come with larceny in my heart. You know, if you got a better way of doing business, I'm going to steal it and take it back with me. You know, so I learned a lot there as well. I went back a few years ago and also got my master's degree. So I kind of did that in honor of my parents. I always tell the folks that I'm the luckiest guy you'll ever meet. I won the lottery as early as you could win it. I won the parent lottery, and very, very lucky to have them. And you know, and then that's one of the things with these kids. You know, some of them, they don't have that structure that I had, that I was fortunate enough to have. You know, it's challenging. You know, there's only really a couple of differences between any of us: circumstances and then daily decisions. You know, we can't always control our circumstances, especially as a kid. So, you know, that's important to me, and I want to work on that for these kids.
Do you feel like your upbringing is helping you transition into this job, and are you looking at how to do this job differently because of your parents?
Absolutely. Again, their work ethic, their background. My dad was a full-time USDA meat inspector. We ran a farm full-time, and he was also a Southern Baptist preacher for 25 years. So. And my mom, if I was out working on the farm, she was right beside me working, and you know, that does make a difference.
Can you talk about deciding to take this job and come out of semi-retirement, essentially?
Well, first and foremost, it's hard to tell the mayor no, but it was a gut thing. I just felt like it was supposed to happen. You know, I got a phone call out of the blue, and I thought about it, talked to my wife about it, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity. You know, really, you know, investing in the staff, like I said, looking at the programming side of things. There's a quick turnaround for a lot of these kids that come through this facility. I mean, their length of stay seems to be pretty short. So finding the right programs that I can, you know, get in place that can help them in the short term that they're there. Making sure they got the best medical care, they got the best mental health care that they can possibly have is very, very important. And then the school system, they do a phenomenal job. They're in there 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. These kids are going to school. They have specific classes in the mornings, English, math, science, history. And then the afternoons, the classes are more like social skills based. So, but they have a full day with the school system. There's 4 teachers that come in that conducts all of that. I'm going to tap into some additional resources that the school system has. I've already met with those folks. They're going to supplement me with some additional mental health care. It's going to be anything that a Knox County school has and has access to, they're going to give me access to it. They're going to donate more equipment for the gym. We've got a great, big, huge gym right now. They can play basketball, that's it. I'm looking to add more things, on that side for the kids as well. And just continue to grow, grow the whole program.
That sounds great. What you talked about, investing in these kids, can you talk a little bit about your thought process with managing this vulnerable population, right? But sometimes some pretty serious offenders. How are you looking at that, and how are you balancing that?
Yeah, you basically got a couple different types of juveniles that are in there. You've got the DCS folks that could be as something as being a runaway, But you also got some juveniles in there that has unfortunately made some serious mistakes, made serious mistakes when it comes to decision making, and there's very serious and even violent charges that some of these juveniles have. So it's a wide range of the different types between the holds for DCS versus criminal charges. That will be a challenge as far as the structure, just with housing and programming, and so many of them can't be around other folks. They may have gotten into an altercation with another juvenile, or for other issues, maybe charge partners, things of that nature. So putting all those pieces in place just from a housing standpoint is something I'm going to be focusing on really soon.
I want to talk about some of the issues that the center's had the last few months, specifically when it comes to medication. That was something we heard a lot from the nurse who I spoke to. Can you talk about how you are trying to address that?
Currently, I'm working with the Knox County Health Department and some of their staff. They're helping me out on that side of things. Going to be looking at the protocols. Going to do some additional training right off the bat with all the staff when it comes to medication, giving out the medications. Maybe looking at some other options as well, but I know it's a bit of an issue, and it's something in my background and working with the sheriff for 28 years. I had that was never a problem, when I left there. So I think we can get it handled. Maybe look at contracting the actual pharmacy side of things out, as far as even how we order the medications and how they come in and so on and so forth. So that's something that I already spoke with the medical director about there at the facility, and hopefully we can explore that and have some of the same processes that I'm used to put back in place, especially when it comes to the ordering of the medications.
I talked to some staff members, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying, the concern or the need for staffing. And I had heard some concerns about employee safety with the kids who are there because there's not enough staff. Can you talk about that and how you're hoping to address that as well?
Like I said, it's my number one priority right now. I've got interviews set up for this week. I've already put together, it's going to be a 3-week classroom type training prior, so before they even get on shift, they've got that behind them, 120 hours. And then when they come to the facility, there'll be at least 2 weeks of on-the-job training that will enhance what they've learned in the classroom. So I'm hoping to, again, as many folks as I can hire for that August 4th class. That's my goal. And then also, again, using in-service this year, 40 hours is required for everyone to identify their most important needs right now when it comes to training, and provide that for them later on in the year. I'm looking for October to conduct that training. I've also got a gentleman or an officer that works for me currently. There's a requirement. What I'm looking at is a program. It's called Handled with Care. So I'm sending a gentleman to be trained the trainer coming up in August, and it's basically provides the staff like a 2-week course on primarily focusing on de-escalation techniques. And then also it talks about the do's and don'ts of what we can do on the juvenile side when it comes to those situations that may get physical. You know, that's obviously, nobody wants that, but sometimes, you know, some of these kids have some serious anger management issues. And that's another program that I want to implement, is some type of anger management program for the juveniles as well. But that's kind of my goal so far in the 2 weeks that I've been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot happening in the last 2 weeks, it sounds like.
Yeah, again, I'm in listening observation mode right now. Mr. Bean, who's been very gracious to me, I can't thank him enough. His last day is the 31st, so I'll be official August the 1st, but I'm already in there, again, working, going to all these meetings, and again, being in listening and observation mode right now, asking a ton of questions.
Mm-hmm. I heard from a few Knox County residents at a commission workshop who had concerns about, this was before, you know, the official transition happened and before the sheriff's office was officially over the Bean Center, but they had concerns about the sheriff's office essentially running the facility. What would you want to say to them to kind of ease those worries, and why do you think the sheriff's office was the right pick to run this?
First and foremost, Sheriff Spangler is probably the greatest leader I've ever worked for. I can say that. He is a phenomenal person and an absolutely outstanding sheriff. They have a lot of resources that, if this goes beyond January 1 and it does go that direction, they have access to a ton of resources, number one. They've got structure in place. They've got, you know, sound policies, great training program. You know, I think you have to have that correctional knowledge, you know, and obviously they have it. And they're great people in that organization, fantastic, very professional. They know what they're doing, so it makes sense to me for this to go that route.
Mm-hmm. Can you take me through your first day and kind of getting acquainted to everything, meeting Mr. Bean? How did all of that go?
I went there on officially my second day and met with Mr. Bean. Again, gracious. I mean, he's such a gracious and been so helpful to me. He gave me a tour of the whole facility. And so that was a bit of almost a blur, because after that it was meeting after meeting after meeting, and it's been that way ever since. But the great thing about these meetings is I'm meeting a lot of fantastic people who want to help me. So you know, it's going to take everybody to help me. So the downside is I've not had time to spend more with the staff and meeting the juveniles. You know, getting their input on what are we doing good and what can we maybe do a little different to make it even better. So that's the downside of my schedule so far, but hopefully that will slow down and I'll be able to spend more time there. I've already identified some superstars on the staff already that have been so helpful to me. So I'm excited to meet more. I know there's more superstars I haven't met yet, so I'm looking forward to that and getting ideas from them, and you know, sharing my ideas as well, and again, investing in them, training, equipment that they need, looking at uniforms, you know, all that stuff is on the table. And then, you know, again, spending more time with the juveniles, seeing, kind of gauging, you know, where they're at and what they need as well is going to be extremely important. You know, again, the programming side of things, I'm already taking a strong look at. I've reached out to some folks already that want to plug in, so that's going to be extremely helpful. So there's a lot, you know. These hopefully these, like I said, these meetings will slow down, and I'll be able to spend more time inside the facility.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned staffing again, and that you're looking actively for people. How many staff members or employees do you have right now, and how many would you like to have?
On the officer side of things, basically what I have, you have the superintendent, assistant superintendent, There's one nurse position. We have one IT position. We have one laundry person that runs the laundry Monday through Friday. And there's 4 cook positions. One of those is currently vacant, so I'm definitely looking for another cook. And then there's 58 corrections officer positions. And right now I have 16 vacancies. So that makes it a little difficult. And also looking at, career development on that side of things as well, investing in some of these superstars and when it comes to a leadership role in the facility. So that's something I'm also working on. So my to-do list is several pages, but we'll get it done. And I just ask that everybody be patient with me as I learn the processes and things of that nature. And I really want to make sure that, and I know, give me time. My goal is to earn everyone's trust and respect when it comes, especially with the staff. So.
I know that the new board is going to be having a walkthrough and a meeting this week. Can you talk about how you hope to collaborate with them?
I think the tour is going to be extremely important. I mean, we all have something in our head, a picture, I guess, of the facility, but until you actually are in there and you walk around and see all the different aspects, there's some budget things that hopefully they'll be able to help me with. There's some already projects that are going on. The facility is ran by the Public Building Authority. I've already met with them about some projects. Great folks over there. There's also, I've met with procurement about creating a RFP for security system. It is pretty antiquated, old, has some issues there. So that's going to be a heavy lift, a long-term lift. But that has to be done. Life safety has got to be number one concern. Of all my things I've got to do, that's my number one thing is the life safety aspect for the staff and for the juveniles. So that's going to be extremely important. And then some other things, maybe upgrading, like I said, upgrading the equipment, the radios. I'm looking at all of that.
Mm-hmm. I know there was some discussion about there being potentially a few board members who weren't commissioners or politicians, let's say. Do you have any thoughts about that? Were you hopeful for some sort of nonprofit leader or something like that to be on the board?
Obviously, it wasn't my decision to make, but I think folks that aren't necessarily connected when it comes to juvenile justice, that can come in with new ideas, fresh ideas, I think that's a positive thing. I believe that the more eyes that you have on the issue, only helps me. With their ideas and things of that nature.
Looking forward through the end of the year, what are some of the major things that you're hoping to cross off your checklist? I'm sure it's long.
Staffing, training, enhancing the programs for the juveniles, investing in the staff when it comes to leadership development, things of that nature, putting supervisors in play, strong supervisors. That's going to it'll make my job 10 times easier. The more leaders any organization has, the better it's going to be. And then I have to do less. So that's kind of way I look at things, And there's, like I said, many of the employees already are shining that I've met. Again, I know there's some more there I haven't met yet that I'm going to be really working with hard, investing in them. So those are probably the big keys, and then getting everything lined up, providing structure for everyone there, and then for everyone who takes it over in January 1, to have it as absolutely the best it can be. Long term, my goal is as I'm going through some of this stuff, I'm keeping the American Correctional Association standards for juvenile facilities in my head, in my thought process, in my decision making. Those are national best practices. So any decision that I make with the general operations, I'll have that in mind when I make those decisions.
Okay. Mr. Bivens, thank you very much.
Thank you.